Hello friends, this is Sai Fanindra from SQL School, and with all my 15 plus years of technical expertise exclusively on database and Azure environment, I promise you my 100% commitment on this completely practical 100% hands-on training on the Azure Data Engineering course. Let's understand what exactly the course includes, and we shall take it from there, slowly understanding what exactly Azure means and advantages of Azure, what is a data engineer, and our job roles, responsibilities. Let's go slowly, step by step, one by one. Yes, the Azure Data Engineer course or Azure Data Engineer job role involves two main activities: ETL, meaning we need to extract data from, gather data from different wide variety of sources, and carefully clean, shape, and load it to the appropriate destination. Like for example, you have some Excel and CSV comma separated value data in one particular data center, and every day, assume every day new Excel files and CSV files are getting loaded by additional client applications, say everyday timesheets or everyday census activities, etc. Now our Azure data engineering technologies can easily capture that data and shape it up, load it onto the actual storage environments like Synapse and Cosmos. So our data engineer course involves data factory and Databricks more into ETL and analytics, Synapse and Cosmos more into storage and analytics. Common pieces: the helping program supporting environment, Azure SQL database and data storage or data lake storage. Yes, what about the prerequisites? To get into this Azure Data Engineer program, we need to have some knowledge on SQL Server and TSQL. Let me tell you why. One of our component, the main component, Azure Synapse. And to configure Azure Synapse, you require SQL Server in Azure environment. We need to configure SQL Server, and inside SQL Server we require to create databases, and here it is, the Synapse SQL pool. I mean to say, it is something like this. The Synapse SQL pool or Synapse is hosted inside, housed inside your Azure SQL Server, inside Azure environment. This is our actual lab plan. Let's understand now what exactly Azure means and why to go for Azure. Let's go slowly, step by step. What is Azure and what is cloud? Yes, on my screen now, let's see the Microsoft Azure introduction. What is cloud? Yes, before that, the documents I'm showing you right now in this class are accessible in the link below this particular video. You may download them. Come on, let's get started now. What is cloud? A platform to ensure 24/7 access to your data. Any type of data, no limit, no exceptions. And This data is mostly accessible using a browser. Like for example, I am using a Google Chrome browser and I'm accessing a server. Inside this server, I had certain databases. And one particular database called, for example, a practice database, and I can query the database directly from the browser. Something like this. So, I mean, no tool is involved here. Server is online and the interface to communicate, contact and query the required data store is also online. Something like this. We simply run the queries here. We simply run the queries. And yes, once you get on with the queries, simply run and we get the result. Now, the result, it is successful. You got the result that can be exported. Right? I mean, lot of activities within the browser itself. Yes, cloud is mainly a browser-based environment. However, if required, we need to install and work with certain tools like, for example, we have Data Studio, Storage Explorer, etc. Certain tools are also required to enhance the accessibility of cloud environment. So both browser as well as tools are equally important when working with any cloud environment or the interface. Why to go for cloud? Why don't we stick back to on-premise? Let me tell you this way, friends. Back in 2005, year 2005, I was selected in campus interviews by Microsoft and my dad gifted me a mobile. I still remember Nokia 1100, a moonlight model. I still remember those days. Now we got 3G, 4G, 5G, and I'm sure very soon we are going to hear 6G. But there we used to have something called GPRS at that time. Nokia 3100. That was my second mobile. I bought it with my second salary. Of course, first salary I need to buy a good amount of stuff for my mom and dad. I want to see them happy, not because I am buying for them, but they just wanted to see my success. I want to see my success in their eyes. That's a different story anyway. Now, why I'm talking about this Nokia all of a sudden? Simple. We used to store the contact numbers in our SIM card, olden days, right? And now, even if I lose my or lost my mobile, just an example, okay? Just an example. Even if I lost my mobile, still, yes, I buy a new mobile or get it from some other sources and log in back to my cloud account. What it is? Yes, in olden days, we used to store all our contacts in our local SIM card, right? If my mobile is lost in the sense maybe broken or something else, my contacts were gone. It's not the same now. You take iCloud or Samsung or sync your contacts with your Google or MSN or whatever. Yes, flexibility and security. Your contacts are more safe. They are not bound to a particular device, right? Instead, they have got a multi-level security options now. You want more security, we pay more, obviously. So the benefits of cloud, no physical interaction or no physical infrastructure is involved. Hence, low maintenance overhead, no additional physical network. We need not really worry about the network cabling or the storage environment or any other infrastructure related and capacity related resources. Yes, using cloud using cloud, like for example, let me show you this way. We can buy something called virtual network. We can buy storage to host your data, and we can buy something like virtual networks. Here it is, we call it as virtual networks, virtual network gateways, and anything can be now virtualized, including virtual CPUs and virtual memory. And easy threat management solutions. Yes, in olden days, for any data center in real world, any storage environment, like for example, your company has to set up a data center, yes, we require antivirus, threat management software, and lot of, we say, injection program capabilities. So a lot of security is involved. Infrastructure pertaining to security is involved in on-premise. Now, with cloud, the things are really easier. You want more secured environment, we need to put more cost. And yes, we are going to understand all those things in more detail, step by step in our classes. From the very next class, we'll start our practice step by step slowly. I assume we are all very new to cloud, new to Azure, and we'll start from scratch with examples right from the very basics. Complex and critical level of security implementation and supports open source environments, in fact required for our Azure Databricks and Cosmos environment, Spark and NoSQL activities. With this information, we have different cloud providers: Azure, Microsoft Cloud, Google Cloud Platform, we say GCP, and Amazon, AWS. Then why to go for Azure when you have other cloud providers with you? Yes, Azure, a Microsoft Cloud Platform, and used for hosting, securing any type of data and any type of applications. For example, on my screen, databases to store the data, or analytics gives you, our actual course is more into analytics. This gives you applications like ETL applications, for example, Data Factory, reporting applications like, for example, Power BI, storage applications like data lake storage, and analysis, reporting, forecasting, etc. And why to go for Azure? Why not something else? Why not something else? Yes, Azure is known for its cheaper cost, highly secure, easy integration, and suits both Windows as well as non-Windows environments. With this information, any cloud has three important platforms or three important implementation areas: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. SaaS, software as a service. It's 100% cloud implementation. In our course, we are going to understand something called as Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB. All these are all the modules, majority of the modules we are going to understand in this Azure Data Engineering course. Total of 7 modules and planned across 3 different verticals, or say 3 different components, to understand all 7 modules. Here, they're completely into cloud-based, we call it SaaS. However, there are some components, like for example, storage. One of our examples on Azure Data Lake Storage access ADLS, it involves platform as a service as well. 80% cloud, 20% non-cloud. I mean, some additional non-cloud operations are required before or after you step into the cloud operation. Some dependency. Best example, we have Azure Analytics, wherein we use a tool called Visual Studio to design the activities, develop the components, and then ship, deploy, make them live to Azure. So mix of majority cloud and minority would be non-cloud. IaaS, infrastructure as a service. It involves 50% cloud, 50% non-cloud environment. Our course includes all these 3 different implementation styles and a small diagram to make the things easier and simplified to understand. So we have SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and on-premise environment. On-premise, it is 100% cloud, whereas SaaS, software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, IaaS, infrastructure as a service. SaaS is 100% cloud, PaaS 80% cloud, 20% non-cloud. Examples we need to deal in our course. And IaaS, infrastructure as a service, like virtual machines, wherein we can involve in 50% cloud activities and remaining 50% non-cloud activities. With this information, then what we actually do at our job role, what we actually involve in. Yes, on my screen. Data engineering means a suite of services, applications. In our language of Azure, we say resources. From our next class, we need to slowly habituate to a new terminology, new word, resources. A set of resources for extraction, transformation, loading activities, storage, real-time and historical data storage, file level data storage, we say file system. Like for example, we have Cosmos file system and Azure Databricks file system. Data modeling, analytics, and reporting activities. We call them Azure Analytics. So what we actually do at our job desk is, number 1, storage and analytics. Here we need to learn 2 technologies, Synapse and Cosmos. ETL and analytics, 2 more technologies, Data Factory and Databricks. And other supporting technologies for the storage, ETL and analytics, like includes Azure Data Lake Storage, Stream Analytics, Data Explorer, and open source Spark for ETL and other components. We say Spark clusters that are required for our course. So our lab plan would be something like this. In your computer, you would be installing. We shall be taking from scratch anyway. We shall be guiding you, and you would be installing total of 4 different components locally. Your local SQL server, mainly for migrations and remote database access. A tool called SQL Server Management Studio. An alternative tool called Azure Data Studio and Storage Explorer. All these are free. There are free trials, a lifelong free trial for SQL Server, and tools within Microsoft are always free, always. You would be receiving the required download links and the installation guidance in the very next class. And once you get these components installed, Then we need to slowly move on to Azure, configure Azure account, and start working on these technologies. It's a lengthy, at the same time useful and 100% practical approach. A 7 weeks course and 100% practical, 35 sessions, 35 hours, about 35 hours, including an end-to-end project implementation for our resume and job work, resume support, certification guidance, and real-time project environment. With this information, yes, I promise you once again, the sessions would be completely into practical environment. And I request you to make sure you have at least 1 hour free time every day to practice on time, so that we can enjoy understanding the dependencies and integrations, especially the daily tasks that you get on emails. Either you opt for the live online or video, any mode of training, the same curriculum and the same course plan. And here are the list of all courses. The Azure Data Engineer course, box number 9, has a dependency on SQL Server TSQL. So get those concepts first, then step into Azure Data Engineer if you are very new to database and new to IT. If you already have some prior knowledge on SQL Server, you can directly right away step into Azure Data Engineer. And here are the plans. So plan A, core Azure Data Engineer. Plan B, SQL plus Azure Data Engineer. And plan C, which is mainly for Azure Analytics. Azure Analytics job role, we have plan C for 196. I repeat again, keeping in mind the Azure Analytics that includes all our technologies like Data Lake, Stream Analytics, Databricks, Synapse, Data Lake Storage, and Data Factory. We have additionally Power BI. 9 plus 6, that would be the Azure Data Analytics. So you may plan for only 9 or 19 or 196 based on your resume plan. And you may opt for, I'll be providing you the complete Excel sheet anyway. You'll be downloading the complete curriculum. You got the chapter wise course curriculum carefully planned, and total 7 weeks course. Or you may also opt for the video training for the same program, same training classes, and complete certification guidance for DP 200 and 201. You can register either for live or video or classroom, and we start from the very basics. Right from the very basics of Azure, we are going to start in our classes, very next class. Right from installing the tools I'm talking about, like for example, Azure Data Studio or Azure Storage, right? I was showing you in the lab plan here, Azure Data Studio, or for example, you got something called as Azure Storage. We are going to understand all these installations and then go slowly into the Azure platform. I request you to plan for at least 1 hour every day for your practice, and you'll enjoy the subject. Let's make it meaningful and worthy by practicing more, and I'm always available for doubts, clarifications, and support. With this information, we'll stop for now, and we shall meet in our next class to start our actual course with the basics and introduction and installations. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Thank you once again.